Welcome to the J Train Podcast. This is J Train Jared Freid coming live from the West Village of Manhattan. We're here every Monday with your emails, your stories, your questions. I say it every episode. Let me say it again. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for telling a friend. That's how this whole thing works. You tell a friend, a coworker, a brother, a sister, a mama, a papa. They tell a friend, a coworker, a brother, a sister, a mama, a papa. This is the season of J Train. We're heading into the fall. People are, and you know, this is indecision season. You go in the summertime. Let me bring my guest on because I think they can relate to this. This is, very hilarious comedian. Is this your first time on the show? You've been on before.
I think it's my second, but it was a long time ago. It was like 3 or 4 years ago.
Holy shit. Well, welcome back.
Thanks so much for having me.
Ariel Elias. Everyone go follow at Ariel_comedy. Thank you for coming back.
Thanks for having me back.
I'm trying to start these episodes quicker. I don't want to go into the whole rate, review, subscribe. Like, people know the deal. But, summertime, like, it's distracting.
Yeah. Well, everybody's, like, mostly naked.
Mostly naked. So you're like,
nice.
This is nice. Good to look at. Beach. Plans. People are looking to do stuff. Mm-hmm. As far as dating is concerned, there's, like, an element of, like, I'll go out and whatever happens, happens. You're not zoning in on certain people. You can kind of zone out. I got my own things to do.
Well, you can, in the winter, you have to like it's so cold and dark that you like find a bar and you kind of plant yourself there.
Yes.
In the summer, you're like, okay, we're going to a pool party. We're going to a picnic. Then we're going to this bar, that bar.
Right. People
we're going to a beer garden. Like, we're hopping around.
Yes. And I think that, like, now you get to the end of the summer and you go, okay, who am I going to sit still with? Mm-hmm. People have called it cuffing season. I think that's way later on. Right now we're in zone-in season.
Okay. Do you feel like cuffing season is like when daylight saving time ends? That's cuffing season? Okay.
I think the sun matters in this. Mm-hmm. It would be funny if they used to do daylight savings time, don't they say it's because of like the farmers and shit?
Yeah, but I think that's a myth. I think it was actually for like retail stores.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, we should
the government was just like, well, if we say it's for farmers, nobody's going to argue.
No one's going to be... Yeah, they have to do it.
Yeah.
Listen, if you don't want to work the plow, you just deal, just be thankful it's not you.
Yeah.
Has to do with. Yeah. I think it would be interesting if they were like, we're changing it for dating.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
So it's like we change the hour to like fit dating. This is off the top of my head. I don't know when I would do this, but like, okay, we're going to make it darker, earlier, starting now, and then, like maybe like now season, because then people go, oh, okay, we have to like figure out our relationships. We got to find someone.
Right. Who am I going to snuggle with under a blanket?
Right.
I also like the idea of daylight saving time being the cutoff, because it's like, that's right before Halloween. So you're like, okay, what's our couple's costume?
Right. Who's going to be the peanut butter to my jelly?
Exactly.
Who's going to? We need to figure this out.
Right. Who's going to be the Bob to my burger?
Right. Bob Burger. Are you a Bob's Burger fan?
Like I wouldn't say like fan, but like I love it on in the background.
Is that because of the sound of it? I've never watched it, but I know it is referenced by people who like to be known as a Bob's Burger fan.
Oh, okay. I'm not that. I don't think I'm like a fan of anything. I'm like definitely depressed, but
fan of nothing.
I feel like nothing
depression.
Intensely, but
yeah.
I think for me, any show where like a family loves each other is like intensely comforting for me.
Really? So that's interesting. Like, okay, so Roseanne.
Yeah, I never watched Roseanne growing up, but like your Schitt's Creeks, your Bob's Burgers.
Like, I bring up Roseanne because as a child, I remember seeing the look of it and being like, this scares me, it disgusts me, I can't watch it.
Okay.
Like,
why?
Even though that's a family that loved each other. I think I was looking at that being like, no, their furniture depresses me. I need to go to a world that is aspirational.
Interesting.
You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
I watched 2.5 Men. I've been watching like repeats of 2.5 Men recently, and that show got a lot of shit. It's a funny show.
It has some funny jokes.
It's got jokes.
There's some good jokes. I would say the same for Big Bang Theory. There's some solid jokes.
Right. Big Bang Theory, I guess like when I watch 2.5 Men, I go, I want to live at this house.
Okay.
Part of it is the escapism of living on the beach, like that Charlie lives on the beach. I'm like, oh, I need that a part of it. Like if they lived at a 1-bedroom studio and they were like, let's talk about chicks, I'd be like, I don't want to be in this world.
What about now if you watched Roseanne? Do you think it would still feel the same way? Because now I feel like after living in New York for 8 years, it's like any house.
I watched The Golden
amazing.
Girls recently, and I loved every second of it.
Golden Girls, I mean, it takes place in Miami. So it's like, even though it's not like a Miami show.
Sure.
That alone.
Well, it should be sadder than it is. It's 3 women who have to live together.
4
women, you're right, who have to live together to make rent.
Right.
At 85 years old. And you're like, oh my God. None of us should want this. But then you're like, I like how much they like each other. And they're like dating. There's another part of Golden Girls where like dating is a big part. I can't believe watching now that people are like, just like relating to the dating issues of 80-year-old women.
It is. I mean, I think it's because it's this universal thing that like even when you're 70 and living in Miami and it's 1980, dating is still trash.
Still hard. Yeah.
it's never better. And like your friends are the ones who are going to get you through it.
Yeah. I mean, and I don't know. I watched that show and like Blanche is like supposedly like a loose woman, like, and we all just went with it. We were all like, I get it. I love it.
I do too.
The male version of it wouldn't be as fun to watch. I do think of like if there was Golden Men. I watch, they'd be like, these guys talking about the women that they're trying to get with.
Yeah, I think I might watch that, but I'm also like married to basically an old man who wants to live in Miami. So
you are. So you're married.
Yeah.
And how long have you guys been married?
We've been married for a little over a year.
How has that been? How do you feel as a married woman? Do you ever have a moment where you go, I'm a fucking married
Sometimes
woman?
There are times where like I'll just be like, I'm somebody's wife.
Right.
Like that's crazy. Because I also still feel sometimes like I can't believe I'm old enough to like have sex.
Yeah.
Like how am I married to somebody?
I've been having that feeling with seeing friends' kids that are like, operating humans.
Yeah.
I saw today there were these kids and they like my friend posted like had to brag them with Shirley Temples to get them to smile. I'm like, they're being negotiated with? Like that's crazy.
You're like manipulating them. That's how old they are.
We're at that age.
At my birthday, our friends brought their kid and he's old enough that I taught him how to play bullshit.
How do you play bullshit?
It's like a card game.
Right. I remember this. Oh,
you get
I have
to lie,
2
so it's like really fun to play with kids. He's like 8. So we were just like, but I think like if I was married to anybody else, I would be like freaking the fuck out. But like every time I think of that, it's like, but I love him. Like he's the best.
Sure.
He's like the right person.
I'm enjoying my time with him. Do you guys want to have kids?
Yeah, probably at some point. Every time, like, I think I'm at a point right now, like, this is like a little braggy, but like I feel like my career like just took a little step up.
It's great.
So I'm like not.
Well, you're
ready.
on this podcast,
hey baby.
So things have happened.
Second time.
So, it always happens on the second time.
Yeah, really I think this is going to be the bump.
Yeah,
the Jared Freid bump.
At Ariel_comedy. Go follow. She's hilarious. You're gonna love her. Go. We want to make sure we add kerosene to this inferno of a career that's already happening. No, I understand that. You've become comfortable.
Yeah, but I'm not like I'm not comfortable to the point where I'm like, oh, I could sit out for 6 months.
Oh, I understand that.
So like the idea also of like walking home late at night from the cellar pregnant is like a terrifying, like that subway station is like scary enough.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to be like visibly vulnerable.
No.
So I don't really know like when it's going to happen. I still have a couple more years, but he's a little older. So I don't know. I'm just.
Well, listen, we want to get Ariel to the next space. I mean,
yeah.
Well, it's space of life. I guess you go, when could I do it? Does it fit in? It becomes less romantic and more practical at a certain point. Like I've done that with kind of like marriage. Like, I could be married right now. Like I wouldn't be in this, shoebox. I'd be somewhere else, but I would figure it out, I think. But,
yeah. I think everything as you get old. I mean, it's a little sad that it like becomes less romantic and whatever, but it's like even sex becomes a little bit more like, all right, when do we have time?
Get it
in. We need to do this. We should do this.
Right. We should. I think people have that feeling of marriage, babies, sex. Yeah, it goes under a whole thing. Well, people, listen, go follow Ariel. We have so many good emails. Send in your emails, jtrainpodcast@gmail.com. On the subject of shows, if you're in Washington, D.C. this weekend, I am there. As of taping, the Thursday show sold out, but there's tickets available. Go to jaredfreid.com. I've added Phoenix and I've added Buffalo. Phoenix, Buffalo, Chicago. These are big cities, people. If I can't sell tickets there, I should just take a shovel, dig a hole, and lay in it and bury myself. Like that, you need to come. So, and bring your friends. I got a whole act. I got a lot of jokes. I can do crowd work. Look at, I'm trying to sell myself. I can make balloon animals. Come. The shows are fun. Detroit, Albany, Milwaukee, Baltimore, Richmond, jaredfreid.com. Bring your friends. If you've been before, come again. Bring a new group. Bring the family. Bring the parents, the mamas, the papas, the sisters, the brothers, anyone. We're going to make them laugh. I will run into the crowd and I will tickle them if they don't start laughing. So jaredfreid.com for tickets. I'm going to tape something soon. So if you're watching on YouTube, you're already there. I'd like you to become a YouTube subscriber for the things that are coming soon. That's shitty. I understand. You're like, well, I don't use YouTube. Well, give it a shot. YouTube.com/JaredFreid. Shelby's here. Shelby's putting up videos every day. We're down in the mine shaft working. We got to, just cranking away. So go and follow on YouTube. Should I pay for a vacation I didn't take? Jared, wise Jared, and hilarious wise guest of Jared.
Wow, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Yeah, not every week are they wise. This is a wise week. Okay, thank you for being the outlet I can turn to in times of need. I'm struggling with a situation right now. Can't tell whether I'm being a bitter bitch or I'm justified in my feelings. Here's the background. For the past 10 plus years, my family has done a beach vacation every summer. We rent a condo on the beach. We all pile in the house for a week. It's fun, crowded, lovely, and is the only time my whole family gets to be in the same place during the year. This sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
Right?
This sounds like a sitcom that I would watch about a family that loves each other.
Absolutely. This is the opposite of Roseanne. It's on the beach. It's 2.5 Men meets Roseanne. It's aspirational. It's Golden Girls. We're in. However, this year I got COVID the week before the trip and didn't end up going with my family. Obviously, sucks. I was bummed. Yeah, it sucks. About missing time with my nieces, nephews, siblings, etc., and bummed about missing beach time. But here's where I'm really struggling. I paid for mine and my husband's share of the beach house a few months ago when we made the reservations, and I kind of want to ask for that money back since we didn't actually get to go. For more context, we paid about $600 for our share. We split the cost evenly amongst all the adults who come to the beach each year. We're in our 30s, no kids. The rest of my siblings, cousins, all older than me, some married, some with kids. I know $600 doesn't seem like that much in the grand scheme of things, but also it's not an insignificant amount of money, especially when it kind of seems like we just threw that money away and I didn't get to reap any of the benefits. On the other hand, I feel like it would be such a hassle for the group to try and reimburse us for our share. Like, I don't even know how that would happen. Would everyone have to Venmo us a random amount of money to cover the difference of what they would have paid had we never been planning on coming on the first place? I don't know, Jared. I need help. Should I ask for our money back? If so, how would you recommend even broaching the subject, or should I just drop it, curse the COVID gods, and be happy that my family got to stay in a dope beach house without me? Ariel, what do you think?
I think you just eat the money. I'm so sorry. This a similar thing just happened to me. Not for COVID reasons, but I was supposed to go on a bachelorette party for like my best friend since I was like in first grade. Like, I'm officiating their wedding. Yeah. And my flight kept getting canceled. Okay. And I couldn't get there. Okay. And we like all paid in for a house. We all paid in for like a male stripper. Like we did all of that. But it's like the amount of money that I paid, very fortunate, but the amount of money that I paid is not life-changing.
It was consumable.
It was
You could eat
consumable, right. I was planning on spending that money. Does it suck that I didn't get the experience? Yes,
Right.
absolutely. But like, it's such a hassle. And like, I think when, okay.
No, go ahead. Please go ahead.
I think when you're in these trying times,
Right.
there is this like inherent knowledge of like, there are risks, right? Like it's very possible every trip, every plan you make, like isn't going to happen.
I'm so mad at this family.
They should have, they should have just said like, here's your money back.
Yeah, this is two people didn't show up.
Sure.
And things just went. So let's start with your family is a bunch of douchebags. But money doesn't occur to them. So this is actually playing to her favor. Money doesn't occur to them. That's okay. I agree. The bachelorette party is different because all of these people don't know each other.
That's fair. That's fair.
So it's harder to go, hey, people. Like, I think the bachelorette party should have gone, hey, Ariel didn't make it. We should get her back, the housing. Like, someone should have said something. We are paying less by virtue of, her being involved in the numbers. Like, someone should have said something. If I'm this person, here's what helps them. They take the trip every year and they know everybody. Mm-hmm. You go to, I think you say something. I understand why not saying something, but I think you say something and you go to the relative that is the cheapest.
Okay. So a grandparent, probably.
It's a grandparent. Uh-huh. Whoever the mom or dad, whoever like does the bills. Like there's always the bill parent.
Right.
You go to the bill parent and you go, hey, I know you guys we're so upset we missed the trip. Mm-hmm. What are we going to do about the $600?
Right.
And you say, what are we going to do?
Sure.
Here's my solution. Next year, you take $600 off your tab.
Yeah, I was going to say, instead of having everybody Venmo you.
Right.
Either if you can wait for the $600, either that or like when you go next year, like you guys don't pay for food.
Right.
You don't pay for the dinners.
Or the house is going to cost, it's $700 each, but we'll give our $100
right
to make up plus the $600 that we didn't get involved in last year. Mm-hmm. It should come back. But I do think if you approach and you don't say to the bill parent, hey, I'm so mad. It's just, hey, we missed the trip. Right. What are we going to do?
So
how are we going to figure this out? Assume that you guys have talked about this already.
Yeah.
Hey, I hope the trip was good. I'm so upset we missed it. So what are we going to do about the $600?
Right. And you wait until after the trip.
Yeah, after the trip.
Of course.
After the trip, what are we going to do? Now we're working together. And then your parent that didn't think of you, they go, oh shit, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
Make them feel a part of it.
Isn't that so emblematic of like how much I'm desperate to avoid confrontation that I was just like, sorry, you're out $600.
You're done with money.
It's done. It's over. Don't talk to them about it.
But this is going to be on their mind for a year. Like, and I just, the idea of saying nothing, like, I just don't understand how like people keep going when something is so obvious to me. Like, how did no one at that family trip say, hey, we were all making money? Like, they're avoiding. Uh-huh.
But we also don't know that they weren't discussing that. Like, how?
We don't know. Yeah.
Do we know how long after this trip this person wrote this?
We don't know those answers.
Because it's very possible they have like if the trip is happening now,
right.
It's entirely possible that they're discussing this, trying to figure out like how to make this right for her. You know, like we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know, but this person is writing into us, so
yes.
It had like I would involve them in this conversation. Like I with money matters, I think everyone has just such a different connection to it. And
right.
Here's the other thing: you got siblings with kids. They were getting a free ride to begin with.
What do you mean?
If I don't know, $600, I don't know how they split this house to begin with.
Right.
But if it was even amongst all the adults, then
My assumption is that it would be based on like how many rooms are you taking up.
I would think that too. But if they're not even mentioning,
Sure.
then I don't know
what
what they do.
There's a lot of details we don't know here.
JTrainPodcast@gmail.com, JTrainPodcast@gmail.com, here with Ariel Elias at Ariel_comedy. Go follow. So funny. Hinge update question. We're sponsored, people. Before we get into it, Indochino. Talking about money, people. Indochino it's wedding season, and listen, you need a suit. Here's the worst part about going to any formal event. In your mind, you're going, I hope it fits. Mm-hmm. I hope it fits. It fit the last time. Mm-hmm. I'm going to not worry about it till the next time. And you know what? You get to a day before it, and then you try it on. You go, hey, this is the ship I have to sail off on. I have no... And what I'm saying to you right now is that male, female, whatever you identify as, you want to feel good in the clothes you wear, and nothing feels better than made to order. MTO. Indochino is an MTO hotspot, okay? You can get the shirt made to your exact body specifications. You can get the jacket made to all the orders that you want. You can get the pants with one leg a little bit shorter than the other. You can do whatever you'd like because it's going to fit you, and it's going to feel, you're going to be a better person. This is a better person. Listen, every suit, create a suit that fits you and your style perfectly. The website is easy to use. I can't tell you, if you do a gift card, this is like an amazing gift. I'm telling you right now, get involved. If you've got a big day coming up, and it could be anything. Listen, Rosh Hashanah, and if you're of the Jewish persuasion, the high holidays is like when you put on a suit each year.
Oh, yeah.
And I have horrific memories of the night before that, of figuring out what could fit. Get ahead now. Get ahead. If you got a big day coming up, get the perfect look. Is no big deal with Indochino. Get $50 off any purchase of $3.99 or more by using promo code JTrain at Indochino.com. That's $50 off a purchase of $3.99 or more at INDOCHINO.com. Promo code JTrain. What an amazing offer. What a way to get ahead. Love it.
Don't, can I give a copywriting? Don't change your body to fit the suit.
Right.
Change the suit to fit your body.
That's right. And that's really important because even when you get like lose weight and you wear the old bigger suit, that don't look right either.
No. And then you have to like go and get it tailored. Do I even have a tailor in my neighborhood? That's a real old-timey job.
Garbage.
How long is it going to take them? Is the turnaround going to be fast enough, or am I just going to gain the weight back in that turnaround?
No. You're exactly right. Indochino, promo code JTrain, $50 off, $3.99 or more. That's like, we're giving you free money. Hinge update question.
Okay.
Jared and guest, thanks for all the great work you do. Maybe this update isn't that new, but I have a question about this Hinge feature. I noticed a new dating intentions on people's profile. I included a screenshot of the options. I have two questions. One being, does it matter to guys what I put? I struggle to believe that if I were to select life partner that it would actually deter men who only want hookups, but maybe I'm just cynical. And the second question is, what does long-term relationship open to short mean? I've noticed a lot of men have selected this option, and it seems weird to me. Is it just saying that they are looking for a long-term relationship but still down to fuck? Thanks for all your insight. And I have the dating intentions. So here are the choices.
Okay.
Life partner, long-term relationship open to short-term relationship open to long, short-term relationship, figuring out my dating goals, prefer not to say. What do you think? Or you can hide it. You can have nothing showing whatsoever. What do you think about this update?
I guess my first question is, what's the difference between long-term relationship and life partner?
Yeah, I don't know.
Those feel redundant.
Right. Life partner, I guess these are only for women. All of these things are only for women. I mean, short-term relationship, I don't even know what that means. Like,
Well, I mean, it's definitely a way of saying like
casual.
Yeah, like here to hook up.
Right. That's the only one that matters. That's the only one that you can be honest. See,
well, that's the default, right?
Right.
Is like hook up. Right? Or no?
No, to me the default, and we don't want to admit this, is the default for anyone on a dating app is I'm here to see what's out there,
right.
And hopefully one of you people ends up as the person I want to be with forever.
Right.
Like there's hope in it. Now, there's people that will do a lot of things to get to that hopeful person. And everyone is different. There's some people that feel okay having sex with random people until the day before they find the person they would go off to be their life partner.
Sure.
There's some people that go, I'm not having sex with anybody until it's the right person, and I know that we are consistently seeing each other and it's heading towards somewhere. Mm-hmm. This is not acknowledging the elephant in the room that is the physical part of relationships, and how the physical part relates to how anyone dates. And that's where it lets people off, because this is people going, I wanted, but they said they were looking, this is for people that have had sex with someone and then the person goes, hey, I'm not looking for anything serious. And that's their excuse to get out of it.
Right. Because I'm not looking for anything serious doesn't really mean I'm not looking for anything serious. It means I'm not looking for anything serious with you.
Exactly. So
I mean, I think I would just prefer not to say.
I would have it off the profile.
Yeah.
To me, this is for,
Oh yeah, hidden on profile.
Hidden off the profile.
Hidden on profile.
Here's what we have to remember with the dating apps. They were invented by low personality losers.
Just a bunch of tech nerds who don't know how to fuck.
Male tech nerds. Yeah. Male tech nerds who wanted to fuck.
Right. But who have no idea how.
And don't want to get turned down.
Right.
And they want efficiency. Every day, every app on your phone is about efficiency. Postmates, get the food to me quicker, without me having to put my credit card. Uber. Right. No taking out of money, no exchange of money. The driver knows where you're going before you get in the car, or as you get in the car. And this is no different. So what were the inventors looking to do? Fuck more efficiently.
Sure.
And those were nerds who couldn't fuck efficiently. So you have an app that is now being used by everybody, as most things. The jocks have gotten in control. And us jocks
are
using
jocks.
Us jocks, us cool kids are using it to our advantage.
Right.
And sitting behind our charm that allows us to, use this as we will.
It does feel like a lose-lose thing for women to put on their profile.
Absolutely.
Men, you do whatever you want.
Right.
It doesn't really matter. But a woman puts that on her profile. Either they see like, oh, she wants a long-term relationship, pass.
Right.
Because she's just going to be in it too fast, and I don't want that. Or she's going to put like short-term relationship, like here to hook up, and they're just like,
that's
all they want.
To me, putting I'm here for casual on the dating app or short-term relationship is drenching yourself in blood and jumping into a shark tank.
Yes. I
right.
think that's great.
Because all the sharks are like, I'm going to eat that chick right now.
Right.
I would also say saying I'm here for a long-term relationship is another version of giving away too much. Now a guy knows how to woo you.
They can love bomb you.
Right.
They can. I've been watching a lot of F-Boy Island lately.
So you get it.
Yeah, I got it.
And here's the thing. I don't think people are that dastardly. Like, I don't think people are that maniacal. Like, I think it's somewhere in the middle. So I don't think guys are going on there like only swiping right on looking for a relationship. I do think they're swiping right on more people than you're swiping right on. Then they get a match and they go, oh, looking for casual. Boom, I'm definitely talking to her. I'm definitely going to take a shot at this one. I do think if they're swiping right and they see looking for long-term relationship, they go, good for them.
Yeah.
And they're going to go, well, how into it am I? They'll talk to you or they won't talk to you. And I don't think you're going to find as many men who are like, okay, time to love bomb so I can get my fucking.
So I guess it also depends on what she wants, because if she wants to play it as a numbers game,
right,
of like, I just want as many people to swipe right on me as possible,
yeah,
then like, yeah, man, put fucking short-term relationship and then see where you like if you can fix him, you know, like if you're like, my personality is so amazing, which I bet it is. She listens to the show. I bet she's amazing.
Gotta be cool.
She might be
us
like
cool kids.
Yeah. Right. Us jocks.
Us jocks that listen to this podcast.
You know, I go to this bar and meet this person. This person's just going to be like into me, because why wouldn't they be?
Right. I you know, it's funny you say that. It's like, it's all about what can you take. So it's like, how good are you at this game?
Yeah. What's your strategy?
What's your strategy? If you can strategize, if you can put emotional stuff aside and really strategize this, then you could put looking for short term, get as many matches as possible, not fuck these guys, and, you know, decide on whoever you want. And then when they go, well, I thought you were looking for casual, you go, well, I've changed my mind. I want to be dating you.
Right.
A lot of people can't do that. And I understand that. But if you could, you're going to find... You're going to find a match. Okay.
There's going to be a lot of sharks.
A lot of sharks. If you can't, I'm looking for long-term relationship that will ward people away, not as much as it would ward women who don't want short-term, that see it on a male's profile.
Okay.
Like if a guy had looking for short-term, I would assume women would look at that and go, I'm going to unmatch. I'm not looking for that.
Yeah, unless you've just gotten out of a breakup.
Yeah, and they should. You know, like if a man says looking for short term, believe him.
Right.
If a woman says looking for the great Maya Angelou once said, believe that.
Yeah, believe men.
Right. Believe all men. If a guy writes like looking for the one she referenced, looking for short term but open to long, looking for long term but open to short. That's like the introvert outrovert version of I'm just trying to be everything. I don't fucking know what the fuck I'm doing.
Outrovert.
Extrovert. Externalvert.
What is it? Should be outrovert. You're absolutely
outrovert.
right.
What is it?
It's extrovert. But you're right. If it's introvert, it should be outrovert.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah. That's just somebody who like wants everything.
Yeah, it's someone who doesn't want to answer the question.
But doesn't want to hide it or say prefer not to say.
It should say, I tried this as a bit, but it should be who you would have, what you would be comfortable with sexually. What do I mean by that? So like, I could have sex with someone I don't see a long-term future with.
Right.
You should answer that way. I could have sex with someone with multiple people at the same time that I expect no future with.
Right.
I can have sex with only one person at a time, and you know that I do see a future with. You know, it should be about that. And
or
all
like,
of this is
I have
avoiding.
sex with people, and I can only have I get emotional attachments to everybody I have sex with.
Right,
which is like totally valid, totally
fair. And I think if you knew these things, and it should be like you could check multiple ones. Like, oh, I could have sex. Like, I could go on a first date and have sex with someone and never see them again. That could happen.
Right.
Doesn't happen all the time, but you know that could happen. I would be more comfortable avoiding a date with someone who has that on the table than someone who doesn't have it on the table at all if it's not on the table for you.
You're right. This is like corporate speak for
Very
that.
much
It's like
so.
corporate jargon for like what you like.
JTrainPodcast@gmail.com, JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. Here with Ariel Elias at Ariel_comedy. Go follow. It's going to be all over my Instagram. If you're listening right now, I started a new JTrain Podcast Instagram account.
Oh.
Yeah, it's growing. It's, you know, I like it because I needed to separate me from the podcast.
Of course.
Right? I wanted to give people, you know, an option to say, it's almost like a business card. Like if you're looking to share this podcast, you can go, here, look it. There's the podcast page. I'm making this easier on you. This is about you. You're welcome.
Yeah, now you don't have to watch a stand-up.
Right. Good for you. You can come to a live show, jaredfreid.com.
Which you should.
Coming to Chicago, Phoenix. These are big cities, huge towns. If I can't sell you in your town, I'm leaving.
You should go. I opened for Jared once. I opened for you once, and it was so fun.
We had a good time.
We had a great time. It was a much smaller potato show.
Where was it?
I think it was Fairfield, Connecticut.
Yes.
In that hotel where they would just like have people, but it was
that
so
hotel.
Fun.
You could bring coolers.
Yes, and people. It was BYOB. People. I've never seen people so hammered.
People get fucked up.
So fucked up, but they were also great. But they were still great.
They were fun. I'll be back in Connecticut at some point. The shows are always fun. I had someone in the crowd that was pretty drunk, and she was interrupting, and we just made fun of her the whole night. And it was fun. Like, she was swirling a glass with white wine, and she was like hitting on me.
Was she wearing a coat made out of Dalmatians?
Yes.
It's a real villain move to
just look. She kept being. She was like trying to flirt with me, and like you could tell, like, and she's like, but she was just talking. Sometimes people just talk, and so I was like, hey, and so I got through a bit, and I like looked at her. I go, everyone around you, you've ruined all of their time. Nobody wants to listen to you. And she's like, what? Swirling. And her friend was like, annoyed. You could tell, like, I was speaking for the group, and she's like, well, we're talking about where we're going afterwards. And I was like, where are you going afterwards? She goes, the R&V bar. And I go, cool. She goes, you should come. And I go, okay, I'm not going to come. Well, when she said you should come, the whole crowd went, ooh. And
like a moment on 2.5 Men to tie it back when they're kissing.
Except we're not at the beach. We're in Dayton, Ohio. And well, I looked at the crowd. I go, how sad do you guys think I am?
And then you're like, don't answer that. Don't answer that.
I was like, how much confidence do you think I need to go convince the woman that ruined the show for people?
Yeah, that's so funny.
Plans greater than baby photos. Jared, Shelby, and guest. I'm a woman in my early 30s in a serious relationship, and a lot of my female friends are married and some have kids. We're all living 30 to 45 minutes from each other now. I understand the moms and wives' worlds have shifted. We are all living further from each other and have more commitments, but I'm just trying to make some plans to hang out. Babies invited too. I frequently try via text with a group. One mom, one non-mom, always inconsistent responding, one non-mom / good at responding. So we got a group chat of 4, mom, 2 non-moms, but one's responsive, one's not. Have recently met with no direct response or pics of the baby and have recently been met with no direct response or pics of the baby or sorry, I'm busy, but no attempt to pick a date, even if it's for later in the summer. It's so blatant that one of my friends pointed out and is going to try with the group. Also, the mom friend added me as a viewer of her shared album for her children without me asking. Now I'm trapped and can't figure out how to mute notifications for that album. How the heck do I manage this new phase for my friends and mute that album? Thanks. Not a wife, not yet a mom either. What do we think? Are you in this situation?
Yes, 100%. I have friends with babies. I have a new niece.
Okay.
I get a lot of baby pictures.
Sure.
The true look, I love my niece. I love my friends' babies. The honest answer is like, I don't really care that much.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's a baby. They're cute. It's fine.
Unless the baby is dressed up in something funny.
Or something that I got the baby.
Right.
But God, what a fucking
my
narcissist.
chosen fashion. Yeah.
But what I recognize it as is like when you're a new parent, you have very little bandwidth, very little time, very little ability to like still reach out to your friends. You're exhausted all the time and like responsible for somebody else's life. So these pictures that they're sharing with me is their way of saying like, I still want you in my life. I just don't have time to hang out with you or talk to you.
Right. This is, and this is why people feel the need to get pregnant at the same time. This is why people want to be on the same schedules as their friends, because you're going to lose these friends.
Yeah. At least for a little while.
Right.
At least until the kid can go to daycare.
Think of who your parents hung out with, when you grew up. It was the people, parents that had kids around your age.
Yeah.
And you didn't notice it because again, we're all narcissists. We're all sitting there going, wow, my friend's parents and my parents really hit it off.
Yeah.
Good for us.
Right.
Funny how that worked out. No, it worked out because of socialization, and this is why people, do certain things. This is why, I think women naturally, feel that pressure more. Like, I guess I could go the rest of my life with no friends and just kind of like most men lose all the friends.
Huh.
Think of dads. My dad, nobody.
Yeah, I guess.
I think maybe it's different now, but
my dad had a couple, but
right.
my dad's not a social person at all. He's just not.
But we're two people in this room talking about two dads that happen to be not social. So and they say, I think you do what your wife does, and we have plans tonight. Right.
Yes.
And you go, okay, I guess I'm going. I'll meet this husband.
Right.
I don't know. I just, when I see this, this person has to be, and it's the last person that has to deal with everyone else moving on, because they're on the island that they used to live on.
Right. They're still living in the city and all their friends have moved to the burbs.
Right. If I was this person, here's my solution. They need to make their own plans with new people. If they can't find new people, they need to make new plans and say, and all you say to your friends, I'm doing this. You guys are more than welcome.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Or you do that if you, you make it as easy as possible for your mom friends to have you in their life. Right. I think you do hey, how would you feel about me coming over to see the baby?
Sure.
On this date? How would that? So unprofessional. Okay. It's just yes, you need to find new friends, which is not to say cut out your old friends.
Right.
It's just to say that the ways in which you used to express your friendship have to change.
Right. And yeah, it's the salesmanship. It's got to be different. Hey, I'm down to come over to see the baby this weekend. Also saying the babies are invited too. That's not you selling them. They don't want that. They, just, I'm doing this. You guys are more than welcome. You could even give some fake plans. I would give them 6 fake plans that you would like to do. Hey, I'm doing these things this month. You guys are invited to any of these that interest you. Then they can pick and choose. I'd like to do that. Now you're doing that.
It's a real salesman tactic if you want to use it. And if you have this kind of disposable income is you go, hey, we're doing this at my place. There will be a babysitter there.
Ooh, we're going to have a baby corner.
There's going to be a baby corner. I have hired a nanny for 3 hours. So come then they will come.
Come one, come all.
Yes.
Yeah, you got to do a lot more come one, come all events. And here's what I would do about the baby pictures. You got to start sending pictures to the group too.
Yep.
You got to start sending pictures that would be as annoying for them as the baby pictures are for you. And I'm trying to think of what those pictures, food you've cooked, meals you're having. You should actually be sending them pictures of things you do that you can only do because you don't have a baby.
Yes.
Trips you're taking, sunsets, staying out late. A penis picture of a random lover you found.
Yeah.
Send them the pictures that they're missing out on as a mom.
Yeah. Do you have a pet? Right. Nobody cares about your pet pictures, but send them anyway. Is there a squirrel in your neighborhood who visits your windowsill? Right. Take pictures of that squirrel, baby. Let her know you've made a new friend, and this squirrel doesn't care about its kids.
It's the squirrel chat. jtrainpodcast@gmail.com, jtrainpodcast@gmail.com. Here with Ariel Elias at Ariel_comedy. We're sponsored, people. The summer months are here. Time to stay fueled and hydrated. Making hydration a priority helps us feel healthier in our everyday lives. 1 stick of liquid IV in 16 ounces of water hydrates you 2 times faster and more efficiently than water alone. I love liquid IV. I love it because you don't have to be that person with the 70-gallon water bottle anymore. You can have a one regular-sized water bottle, and it will hydrate you and make you feel great. If you're hungover, this is a great hangover solution. This is great for the hot summer months. Low, as far as having calories. You're not having a Gatorade. Do you know a Gatorade has 200 calories? I have never been shocked by something more in my entire... The idea that I was drinking a half a Subway sub is insane. Liquid IV is a great low-calorie option to hydrate you, and it tastes delicious. And it contains 5 essential vitamins, B3, B5, B6, B12, vitamin C, made with premium ingredients. Liquid IV is free from gluten, dairy, and soy. Listen, it's all tech all the time. Again, we talked about efficiency. This is about efficiency, getting hydrated quicker so you can live your life and live it fuller. Grab your Liquid IV in bulk nationwide at Costco. Or you can get 15% off when you go to liquidiv.com, code JTRAIN at checkout. That's 15% off anything you order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code JTRAIN at liquidiv.com. Love that.
I genuinely want that.
It's really good. I have some for you. I'll give you some on the
way.
Really? Yeah.
I've become so... I realized I'm so much less fun than I used to be because now just 2 glasses of wine and I'm hungover for a day.
Right.
But...
Someone asked me the other day, why don't you get hungover? I'm like, I'm an alcoholic. That's why. If you drink forever,
yeah, I can't.
You don't get the hangover. But I've drank less lately. I'm okay with the 2 drinks. I had 2 drinks Saturday night, and I was like,
yeah,
buzzing.
I'm cool with 2 drinks. It's just that even with that, the next morning, I still feel bad.
If you have a Liquid IV before bed,
I'm going to do
golden. I'll give you some on the way
thanks,
out.
Jared.
Renewed friendships. Jared, big fan. Love your content, all the podcasts. I write this to you because I'm in a predicament. I'm in my late 30s, and men from my past have lately been coming out of the woodwork.
Oh.
Have you had this?
I don't think I've had this yet, but I know it will come.
It is something. Social media.
I've had some, you know what? I haven't had men, old men from... Actually, that's a lie. I just got a Facebook message 3 days ago.
Really?
Yes, it is happening.
What was the message?
It was a lot. It was from this guy I used to date in college, who was just he saw one of my videos,
right.
Reminded him of something, let me know what he's up to.
See, this is the thing. Let's remember, social media was created by not social people.
Yeah.
So it is, how would a nerd want to get in touch?
Yep.
Via the back doors, psst, remember me.
Yeah.
Now, us cool people have access to those things.
Us jocks.
And it's happening. This is men whom I've either been friends with for years or dated when we were younger, just haven't spoken to a while, but we follow each other on social media. I've developed feelings for one as a result, which wouldn't be the worst thing. They're great people and check all my boxes except for one very important note. They are taken, married, engaged, etc. I am of the belief that it's absolutely okay to have friends of the opposite sex, regardless of relationship status. But given the nature of these conversations via text, social media messages, etc., their significant others likely do not know about our renewed quote-unquote friendship. I try my best to keep things at an appropriate level when we chat. They do not always keep it PG. But again, our history sometimes makes it difficult. This honestly bums me out because things with these guys did not end badly in any way. And again, they are not bad people. I acknowledge that this correspondence between us isn't completely kosher either. But why are they reaching out to me? I do enjoy reconnecting, but I wonder if there's something missing in their relationships. Meanwhile, I am single and hope to find someone great soon, but one of these men in particular has really got me feeling some kind of way. And it has me super bummed out that he is supposed to be getting married through a date, though a date hasn't been set. I guess my question is, why do taken men seem to be seeking me out? Is something missing in their relationships? Are they actually having some kind of feelings for me? What is the deal here? I would love a man's perspective. Thank you so much. Wishing all the feathers you can get. What do you think?
Well, I want to hear a man's perspective.
She is adventure. She is safe adventure. She is someone that to their significant other, they can say they have a reason to connect with. Oh, we were already connected. Mm-hmm. It's not friending a new person and then creating a whole new relationship. This is someone who has said yes to their naked body at some point in the past. So they know they have had attract. Men never think you've run out of attraction for them.
That's hilarious.
Never. It's the truth. Men think if you swipe right once, you have swiped right forever because we feel that way about you.
That's hilarious.
It's
like,
the truth.
No, we got to know you.
Yeah, we're out.
We don't feel this way anymore.
Well, that's the thing, because we think that everyone that is swiped right, like that everyone that we've swiped right on, we would fuck them indefinitely.
Uh-huh.
So we're taking the thoughts in our head and putting them on you.
Wow, that's fascinating.
It's the truth.
I believe you.
So what these guys are saying, so they're not saying you would, but they're saying, I think you would in the past, so this makes this conversation more fun. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to come back to it, because here's what the hardest thing, any economics book will tell you that keeping on old employees is cheaper than hiring a new one.
Yeah.
So these guys don't have the ability or the money or the time to go open up new women who would want to fuck them, because also, again, they're in a relationship, so they can't find out for sure. They can't go to a bar and meet someone new. So they go back to the old ones who they still believe would fuck them, who have said they would fuck them. Doesn't mean they still want to, but in their minds, they believe that. And they're going to have this safe adventure. Mm-hmm. So it sucks to be this person. I hear what she's saying. She's like, she's getting bummed out by it because it's like, why me? What do they think of me? It's not, but I would say to her, to try and comfort her, they're not like, ooh, I got this floozy.
Right.
You're just someone who has shown interest in the past.
That, and if these people are in their late 30s, you're also like somebody who's still single in their late 30s.
Right.
Like, you're probably going to answer, and like, there aren't that many. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Do you know John Fish's joke about like him being on the dating apps in his 40s? Mm-hmm. It's all these women who are divorced.
Right.
So when they say like, why are all the good ones taken? It's like, they'll be back.
I knew the joke you were gonna, and it's very funny and it's true. And here's the other thing about what's going on here. There's levels to it. So there's very nice levels where it's like just talking to you is the excitement this person needed. Mm-hmm. Then there's the more, the other levels where it's the guys basically trying to talk to you enough that you make the move so that they don't get blamed for making the move, and then they get the choice of whether they cheat or not. So this conversation really can either stay here and waste my timeville, or become more destructive to our livesville. Yeah. So if I'm this person, and I agree with them, you can have relationships with people that are of the opposite sex. Like of course you can. I agree with them that you can, have relationships with the opposite sex if they're in other relationships. This is 100%. It's the nature of these happening in the back alleys of social media, where they have a little bit to be like if their wife said, who are you talking to on Facebook? Oh, we went to high school together. We've known each other 1,000 years. I was just checking in with them. They have an excuse that's kind of, ironclad.
Right. Yeah. But it sounds like these conversations are like bordering on like emotional cheating.
Of course.
And like stuff that these people wouldn't tell their significant, or one person in particular. I shouldn't say like people, but
if I'm any woman getting messages from like people from the past, I say this. I respect, because you don't want to be a bitch, so to speak. That's like, I guess that matters to people. It wouldn't matter to me. I just wouldn't answer.
Well, that's because you're just like such a jock.
I'm such a jock. That's what we do. Us cool kids don't care what people think about us. But if you care about what someone thinks about, and if you're like, I do enjoy this person, it would be nice to reconnect with them publicly. Just do it publicly. And here's what you do. You say, hey, so cool of you to reach out. I don't have time to get back to you now with my life update, but I see that you're with someone. I would love to get lunch or dinner or a drink with you and your significant other. Just give me a few dates and we'll figure it out.
That's great.
Boom.
That's so smart.
And now it's like you're being agreeable.
You're being a good person.
You're being a good person. Also, you're single. You want to meet maybe they have friends that they could introduce you to. As far as like, giving yourself, like everyone talks about like, oh, all my friends are married. Okay, well, you just need those married friends to like think of you. Now you got a new woman that could like, pitch you out. Like as far as like incentives are concerned, people in their 30s are looking to like meet other people in their 30s that know other people in their 30s.
Yeah, and look, if you liked him at one point and he's now with another person and he had liked you, chances are you're going to like the person he's with now, right? Like you probably have a lot in common.
Absolutely. And if you can all be adults and put that aside, then it's great. But it takes 3 people to be adults. Mm-hmm. So if there's one child, this will never work. So if she's a child because she can't handle like an ex from high school, it's not going to work. If he's a child because he's looking to hook up with you or get his mental rocks off by talking to you, then it won't work. And if you're a child and you're like, well, I don't want to be seen as whatever, then it won't work for you. So this is a kind of a strategy to get out of this. And I would say to anyone, why do these men reach out? You are an adventure. You bring a video game in their brain that they get to play, and they get to play in the land. I mean, I don't get this with. How do I get this? I get this in, when this happens to me, when I go to a party, I always have the person who's saddest come to me.
Is that why I'm attracted to our friendship?
Right. I am just the sad. Well, I think what happens is all these people chose a very normal version of life, and then we come into a party and it's like comedian who made a different choice, went in a different direction. They go, oh, I could tell them anything. Right.
Well, and I don't know if these people at these parties like know you from your stand-up, but there is also that thing of like, we get up and we reveal stuff, right? We like talk about, we tell our secrets and we're vulnerable in a very controlled way, but other people then feel like they can be vulnerable to you.
Totally. You say these things, so you won't, how could you judge me? Yeah. I mean, that happens after shows too. Like just random people, hey man, and then they'll say things that and you're like, oh, that's horrific. I don't like J-Train.
I can't relate to that
I can't
at all.
At all. JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. Shelby, do we have time left for one more? What are we working with right now? We do. Okay, so one more, 2 more. What are we thinking? One more. Okay, I'm gonna give. This is gonna be dealer's choice or your choice on title. You got a choice between 2.
Okay.
Can I talk my new boyfriend out of getting a vasectomy?
Okay.
Or mom BFF versus the boyfriend? These are juicy.
Definitely vasectomy.
Okay. We'll push the BFF one to the next epi. Jared, I became a fan of the J-Train podcast earlier this year, and I'm so glad I did. It truly gets me through the commute to work, slow work days. I'm also looking forward to seeing you in Springfield, Missouri this weekend. So I've already been there. Thank you for coming. I hope maybe the boyfriend was there with his pee that is either working or not working. I have a question for you. Can I ask my boyfriend to rethink getting a vasectomy? For some background, my boyfriend and I met on Hinge in March and have been officially dating for about 3 months now. He's 25, I'm 23, so still pretty young and nowhere near having kids. Super young. This is the healthiest relationship I've been in, and I'm very happy. We connect in a lot of different ways, openly communicate, and have discussed the future, but mostly related to our career goals, places we'd like to travel, never marriage and kids, etc. However, recently he threw me a curveball when we were hanging out over the weekend. Following the Supreme Court's overturning of Roe versus Wade, he mentioned that he'd like to take birth control into his own hands and wants to get a vasectomy.
Oh.
Love and appreciate that he supports women. Number 1 ally, LOL. But this freaked me out. Well, they're also in Missouri, which is like one of the most stringent states. I actually joked about this while in Springfield.
And there's like,
there.
You have to drive far to get to, like, you have to go to Illinois.
Yeah. And I joked about it there, and basically on that subject, like, they have a place called the Come and Go. That's like it's like a convenience store.
And it's spelled C-O-M-E?
It's spelled K-U-M and go. And I said that was a prophecy for the state.
Yeah, that's
like, if
funny.
you come here, you better go.
Yeah.
And I understand the fear in this guy.
Yeah, I appreciate this man.
Right. I mean,
this is an empathetic man.
Right. Love and appreciate that he supports women, number one ally, LOL, but this freaked me out because that's a pretty permanent decision. Vasectomies, while they can be reversed, are meant to be a permanent form of sterilization. And a lot of time there is no guarantee that a man will be able to have children after it's reversed. Thank you, Google, for that info, as most of my info prior to this came from The Office. When he said...
Snap.
When he said this, I was shocked and didn't really know how to respond. I think I made a joke of some sort and we moved on, but the more I think about it, I feel like it calls for a larger, deeper discussion I didn't think we were ready for. We've only been together for a short period of time, but so far I've had no reason to think that this couldn't turn into a long-term relationship. I know that generally I'd like to get married someday and maybe have kids. While I'm not 100% sure I'd like to have kids at this point in time, I would definitely like to be an option down the line, say in my early 30s. We get it. Also, birth control doesn't affect me negatively, thankfully, and I'm very responsible about it, so I'm happy to be the one in charge of the birth control method in our relationship. I guess it all boils down to, does him saying he wants to get a vasectomy mean that he never wants kids? And if so, does that mean that we're just not a match, since I'd like to leave that option open to having kids down the road? Does this mean we have to have the marriage and kids talk already, even though our relationship is still pretty new and we're relatively young? How would you go about bringing it up? Lastly, is it fair for me to ask him to reconsider this pretty permanent decision, at least while we're dating, since it would potentially be a decision that impacts both of our futures? Although I definitely don't want him to change his thoughts and future wants based on my feelings towards his, as I respect that he might just feel completely differently than me on the matter, and it could be a deal breaker, but I hope that's not the case. Would love your wise advice on this. Thank you. And Freid, snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Okay, one of two things is happening.
Okay.
Either he does not want kids, period.
Yeah.
In which case, like, if you're open to that possibility, like, yeah, you do have to end it. I'm so sorry. I know he seems great. The other thing that could be happening is, like, he's very young. 25 is very young.
Yep.
This huge thing in our country just happened. And he, without really thinking of the consequences, feels the urge to do something drastic, feels the urge to feel like he is helping. And I think for a lot of men, like the good men in our society right now, it is like, what do I do? How do I help?
Right. And I'll add a third onto that. Is that he's looking to fuck other women.
Oh, that, I don't know. That didn't really cross my mind. That's such an extreme, drastic thing to do, just to fuck other women.
Well, I think the control aspect, that's why I came to that third option, where it's like, if he's looking, like, I guess if it's just her, to me, I'm like, you guys can have a discussion. Like, the way she talked about birth control, like, I'd be like, okay, I understand this. I don't know. You can't have that discussion with everybody,
right?
You know, and I don't know. I guess, the first two options that you bring up are totally, wanting to do something, be a part of it. I don't know. It's
they absolutely have to talk. Like, you don't even have to talk about marriage.
No,
but you do have to talk about kids,
right? And you have to talk about, where is this coming from? If he's like, it's Roe versus Wade, then this is a drastic decision.
Yeah.
If it's, I never want to have kids, just like you said, like, okay, you're not going to really get past that. Those are two people with two different goals in life. Right. That's okay.
Or third option, you guys do have kids down the line, but like, you go to a sperm bank and he's not the biological father. If he's okay with that, if you're okay with that, then like,
that can be
the vasectomy.
It is interesting how early this is. Like, again, the marriage thing doesn't have to be a topic of discussion. I understand where he's coming from, because you go, as far as control is concerned, because you go, there's a lot of people that are like, why isn't there a male birth control? It's like, yeah, I'd fucking take it. Yeah. To have a little bit more, thought in the matter, like, I think this is an extreme thing. I think she's got to talk to him. And I think that doesn't have to be about kids. Like, it can, it is about kids, but it's like, I think it's about sex. Like, why, also, are you two using condoms? Like, to me, I would take it a little personally. Like, if I were her, I'd be like, Do you think you're going to get me pregnant? Do you not like trust me to do the pill? Are you where in this equation? I mean,
yeah,
I'm a big condom user because of stress when it comes to sex, as far as like not having a decision in the game.
Okay.
When I was in a long-term relationship and they were on the pill, we would have sex with no condom.
Yeah.
And I didn't even feel comfortable with that.
Really?
In the beginning. And then I was totally comfortable with it. And then when we got out of a relationship and I was like back to condoms again, I was like stressed out about using condoms. I'm like, how is this possible?
Right.
Like I was so okay here. And that comes down to trust and knowing, having had those conversations when you're having that's why I went down to like he wants to have sex with multiple people thing, because I don't stress about this when I'm with a partner. I know that we've been able to have these conversations. When you're in a position where you're having casual sex or with different people, then you start going, well, I'm out of this discussion completely.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems like such an extreme response, but then again, it's an extreme response to an extreme event.
Totally. Yeah, you're right.
So I don't know. I mean, I have a very different relationship with birth control, which is like, I have an IUD. I'm like very sensitive to hormone changes. Like even that, like I still feel crazy. So if my husband, if we had decided like we don't want to have kids and he was like, I'll get a vasectomy, thank God, like please do. Like just yeah, absolutely snip snap.
Yeah.
But because we're not using condoms, you know what I mean? Like
right.
We haven't. It's been he's also like, when I met him, he was already so old and like not like old, but it's just like any help his dick can get. Like we don't need a barrier. I don't know that I really think like I want to know like what conversations have they already had, what kind of sex are they like, what kind of like safe sex practices are they already using, and like yeah, the answer is like, you guys have to talk about it.
Gotta talk about it.
You have to.
Listen, right back in. Let us know what happened. jtrainpodcast@gmail.com. jtrainpodcast@gmail.com. Ariel Elias, thank you for coming on. Fantastic.
Thanks for having me. It was very fun.
Everyone go follow @Ariel_comedy. We're here every Monday. Keep sending your emails. jtrainpodcast@gmail.com. We'll be back next episode. Boom.